Why, hello there. This one. Hi. Howdy. Welcome. We got a tall canvas today. I'm gonna do something interesting, maybe. But I'm just gonna kind of get started here, and we'll see how it goes.
Kind of bear he turned out to be.
Takaro,
He didn't even know how
hello.
to act like a bear.
And thank you. I think I'm gonna try and keep it to like here. I hope you can see that. Kind of can. Okay. Probably a little higher. Oh yeah, diving right into that there, despair. It is coming. It's over, hello. Already this is too large. How unfortunate for me. Random hello. I've decided I don't like this. I do want to keep it about this size though. It's about half. We want this to come here and this to kind of come here. You've guessed it, Silver. I've been wanting to for a while, but I just kind of haven't really gotten around to it, you know? Because it's one of those things that like feels as though it would take me longer than a day, especially if I'm doing more than one, which I probably will be at some point, but who can say, you know? This needs to be a little bit higher there. This canvas size is not as helpful as I thought it would be. Let's go. Let's go 1250. See how that goes. Move into Twitch now, and you have to learn Twitch. Twitch is not crazy hard to learn, especially if you've gotten the hang of like the YouTube streams. There's like a little bit of extra stuff with like bits and such, or like I want this to be a little more contrapposto-y. That's that thing where like your weight is kind of offset in distribution, like the statue of David, that pose. But yeah, Twitch isn't like terribly difficult to learn. It's like one additional step if you want to, like the Twitch to YouTube pipeline, I guess, is ever so slightly longer than if you were just doing it all on the tube. I think that's about what I want this pose to be. The difficult thing about turnarounds is that you kind of have to really be okay with conceptually all angles of your thing. So if this pose is okay from this angle but not from another angle, then I will regret it. Adept, hello. Losing subs from streaming. Oh. Yeah, I saw someone left you a comment about like leaving them separate or something. And I guess that does make sense. I still watch them anyway though, because they're usually still entertaining for what it's worth. I'm gonna bring this foot back. I think I like that a lot more. But yeah, I do see where they were coming from, because every time I see a thing, I'm like, oh, it's a new review. But then it's not. Then you can raid me. You can attack me with birds. I think that's about that. Maximus, hello. Alright, so we want this to be relatively centered. Procreate has wonderful guides to help with that. Oh, Mitchie. Okay. So I don't think I'm gonna be like fully flushing this out yet, because I have other angles to consider. So I'm gonna try to think about that first, and then I'll come back to this. And in fact, I do not like this already, because this is not how arms be. When in this particular pose. And it's a tank today. I figured I would start with the easy one. So it's definitely more like this. Or I could do like a more neutral pose, maybe? It has been a long time since we've seen Felix. I'm gonna get rid of that, and I'll try a neutral pose instead. And I guess this wouldn't be quite as... quite as crazy. I do still like this kind of arm being forward, so I'll just like, what if we just put his hand on his belly instead? I think that kind of works. And now that I'm thinking about it, I kind of don't want to put his... I was going to have like one foot further back than the other. But I think that might mess with the... general like weight distribution of things. And this is meant to be like a very neutral, no frills kind of situation, but maybe I will still have this like kind of tilted back a little bit. Ah, friend, hello. It has been some time. How are you? Let's say like that, I guess. Okay, so now I can kind of put this a little bigger and a little more in the middle. Question regarding animated icons. Is it like a how to do thing?
He didn't even know how to act like a bear.
Because they're kind of fun. You mean like the one for my stream, the talking one, or just like in general? Also, Turnip, the resubscribe. Okay. I think what I'll do here is I'm gonna do it in like steps. I mean, I guess obviously, right? Yeah, you can message me on Discord and I will respond. Not like while I'm doing the stream, but afterwards. Then yeah. I think I want this to be this way some. The like the easy way to go about figuring this out would be to sort of skip this part and go to the back first, but I want to kind of figure this out first, because this is like the biggest step away from where I was a second ago, you know? Do I want this to be the kind of turnaround where it's like you can see their arm or not? Oh, this also needs to kind of be this is fine for like generally figuring out what I'm doing, but this is not the correct distribution of weight, so I need to figure this out. Turn this down a little bit more. Okay, so we got our head shape here. Gonna have like a through line here, but his posture is more like this in general. So we're gonna have like a shape coming out like that. And his arm kind of comes back, and that one comes forward, and then this one is back. It's more like this, I think. Sorry, I've been focusing super hard, so I missed some things in the chat. Yes, Turnip, that is exactly that is exactly what I was going for. I had a feeling that you would be the one who would get me, and I'm glad that you were the one who picked up on it first. At least first in the chat. Oh, and thank you. The animated background was fun. I actually did that one on stream, now that I think about it. Specky, hello. And Max, my day has been good. Not an old. But I hope your day has also been good. Okay, so something like that, and that is forward, this is here, this comes back. The knees are like here. His foot's kind of like there. This other foot's kind of like here. Something like that. Does that seem proportionally the same? It's hard to tell. Where's my other color? Maybe this will help to figure some things out. My like general impulse for this was actually pretty close. which is reassuring. So the chin kind of comes like this. The ear is more like in the general middle of the head shape. And the head kind of comes back like that. Got the pectoral muscles. That's the, what is that, trapezius muscles? Your shoulder muscles. It's like that shape there. This is where this ends, so this kind of comes up a little higher. Like that. His hand is like right on his tum. Knees are like here. Something like that. This foot's a little further forward, kind of like here, and this one is a little back and facing away, and this arm I think is like here-ish. His head is a little too big, I think. The chin's like in the right spot, but the hair became too tall. Something like that. Yeah. That's not the worst. Okay. Now time for that despair part I was talking about in my tweet about the stream. 'Cause I'm gonna be extra. And we're gonna do a 3/4 view also. Here's like here. This is like that. This hand is like here, which means that arm is like there, which means the shoulder comes up to like here. Arm, hand, forearm, bicep, belly, leggy, knee, lower leg, foot, other leg. Gotta bring this a little bit here, a little bit there. This is a little higher up. This hand is a little bit bigger, I think. See you later, random. Thank you for hanging out and stopping by and all that stuff. I hope you have fun learning how Twitch do. Something like that, I think. Something like that. So I can delete these other things. Alright, here comes the part. Here comes that despair part. We want this boy to spin. Oops. I think 4 per second might be fine. So the important thing here is that we want all of the major like points to be relatively in the same place. So like the chin needs to line up, that one's pretty important. The knees, oops, which kind of are okay, but not really. The hands, just like a lot of general stuff need to line up in order for this to go the way that I want it to go. But a fun trick for some of these things is the next part, which is where you... This only works for like some of the poses, but the fact that it does work is pretty fun. So I need those things to go there. And now we're gonna erase a lot of these parts because this will be the back. So these are actually over here because he has Mickey Mouse ears in the form of his hair. So these are now his elbows. This is his hair line. His ears kind of go here. So we need like a heart shape here for this. That's like that. These are shoulders. Don't need this knee. It kind of comes up like that. So here we go with this foot. And that foot. Just kind of come out a little more. The fun part about this is that as long as you don't break the silhouette, it will be relatively accurate. Oops. So like something like that, I think. And I'll worry about giving him clothes once I have a like decent understanding of how I want the actual pose to fit and work. Something like that. I don't need this one. Okay, so we got the front and we have behind. We have the side. We have the 3/4. 3/4 needs to come before that. Oh, and I need a reverse 3/4 as well. What a tragedy. Alright, let's work on that now. Let's go with this color. This color, actually, I've decided. Okay, so again, chin is like in the same place. Head is like in the same place. Shoulder kind of comes forward this way. Elbows like here. His hand is like about here. Which means this needs to be up about here. And this elbow is too low. This way. Like that. Like that. This actually needs to be closer. Always so relaxing. Well, thank you. I'm glad that you enjoy them. Knee is like here. Something like that, and then something like this. Unfortunately, I've been quite busy with work the past few weeks, so I haven't been playing much. The last thing I was really playing was Inscription, and that game is still very fun, so I assume a long way to go with it still. But it is a fun time. It is on Steam. It is a card game, deck building game that has a lot of puzzle elements and some spooky elements, I guess. And that's all I will say about it. Figuring out what is going on is like part of the fun. So I would say if you're interested, don't look it up at all. Just kind of go in as blind as you can. And you will not regret it. Unless you don't like card games and or spooky things, I guess. His arm feels too long here, but I think it's... No, it's too long. Needs to be up a little higher. Something like that, I think. Oh. And that is about where that elbow would be, but I think because of the way Oops. Because of the way that this is positioned, it would not be that way. I'm unsure, but I think this does need to be a little bit wider this way. Where's the reverse? I need this to be about where that is. This is like not I'm realizing now like what I'm currently working through mentally is not maybe the most legible thing on stream, but I need you to understand that under these scribbles some thought processes are occurring. Neurons are firing, and I'm trying to conceptualize this boy in a three-dimensional space, which is a thing I don't normally have to do because I usually figure it out from a single angle and then stop. I'm quite bad at figuring out like anything as far as consistency, so these can be kind of difficult for me trying to stay consistently. But he does seem like a little extra wide on the reverse here. So I may have to fix that. I'll use a different color so it's not quite so hard to tell what's going on. But basically I'm just trying to figure out using the two bigger steps on either side. I'm trying to figure out how the step in between works, if that makes sense. Which is part of the reason that I did the sideways one right away instead of just doing the backwards one right away. Yeah, it is kind of like an escape room with cards. There's a lot of other things that occur, but that's the short version, I suppose. Something like this. I guess maybe part of the problem is that you wouldn't see his other arm from this angle, and I keep trying to convey that, which is not a thing I should really be doing. This kind of comes that way. So this is another thing. We're having those other drawings is pretty helpful. Especially because this is an angle I don't normally draw him in. So already it's like a struggle, you know? Oops, I need to turn off those other things. Okay, so this leg kind of comes this way, like that. His head was too big. I think it's also probably a little too far forward. I think that might be part of the problem here. Got our muscles. This is like our back muscle situation. Got this, we got those, we got this crease here, got this arm. Probably needs to come a little further forward. That can come back. This can go here. Something like this, I think. The main issue that I think I'm currently having is his upper body right now. I think this might need to come forward some. So this is kind of like here. I think I erased it just to kind of put it in exactly the same place, which happens. Something like this, I think. Get rid of that and that. Bring this here. This needs to come in a little more. So this kind of crease comes here, this comes up here, that comes over here. I think that might be okay. I think this might be what we want. Maybe not, I'm not sure. Kaikosa, hello. I use Procreate to draw stuff. His hand needs to be further down. And I think his arm needs to come further back some, I think is what is messing me up here. I'm just gonna grab the whole thing, kind of tilt it this way. Pull it down a little. So I don't need all of that. I do need some here, and I do need some of that here. So we can do that. Got some of the knee. so this I think needs to come up a little higher. I think that might be good. Let's see. It's good enough, I guess. There's a lot of wiggling going on, actually, that I don't like. So I'm gonna try and normalize these a little more. Just kind of pull everything a little closer to center. Yeah. I don't hate this. So, the next move is, of course, oops, to go this way. So this arm is the one that is down, and this is the one that is up. I think that might also be a part of the problem that I was having. Is that we want this to be a little more far out like that, I think. Something. We're getting there. Okay, so next is the fact that this is the leg that's a little bit turnited. So this one I think can kind of come in some more and face forward some more. No, this is tank. It's all very scribbly, so it's hard to tell. But I guess this does look a little more like Roswell from this particular angle, which is slightly problematic. I think it's the fact that his head keeps shrinking and growing. I think that's my main problem here. I need it to be this size fairly consistently. But like here it gets bigger, which is not what I want. But it's not quite as bad. Something like that, I think. I think it needs to be forward some. I think that's a little better. But still not like the best. This needs to be wider. I think these ears need to be a little lower. Oops, that's not the right color. Man, thinking is hard, you guys. It's making me sleepy already. And I'm sure it doesn't look super great for this stream. Just a bunch of like scribbles. But I'm hoping me like talking out loud about my attempt to think is at least a little bit helpful. Okay, this is part of it, is that his shoulders suddenly were down. They need to not do that. Oops. This is too far down. Oops. This is too high up, I think. But like slightly though. I guess it also doesn't super help that I didn't especially think this one through. So that's like that there. This comes up here. This comes down here. This is a little behind now, so that comes forward, which means this is blocked from view. I think this foot might be a little too big. Just for funsies, let me turn everything on and spin it around and see if this feels better. John Wire, hello. And thank you, I'm glad you enjoy it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should just do that thing where people like draw lines everywhere. Maybe I'll try that. Oh, it's this. Alright, let me just turn everything off. And I will turn this layer into a foreground layer. So let's turn on my drawing assist. So the knees are both about here. This arm comes down here. And pecs are like there. Shoulders are about here. Chin is here. Crown of the head's here. Highest hair is there. Ears are about here. Elbows are about there. Heels. Toes, hand, wrist, and hips, I think. I should probably label these actually. Okay. Heels. Toes, knees, and wrist, hips, arm, elbow, pecs, shoulders, chin, crown, and hair. Alright, so now I can turn this off and see how everything matches up. Let me make this like black or something very noticeable as well. That's not what I wanted to do. air microwave. I mean, I guess that's fair, you know? I want this to be another color. Let's go with this color. Okay, so already we can see that some things are off. So the knee needs to come up higher. Heel needs to end here, toe goes there. So I can just kind of get rid of all that stuff. Hand is in about the right place. The wrist is also pretty good. Bring this forward a little bit more. Arm, elbows, all pretty good. Pecs, also pretty good. I need this to move up a little higher. So that's about where our chin goes. I think that's close enough. This ear is too big. Bring it down a little. Which means this nose is probably a little too high. Same with this mouth. Seems a little bit better. We're getting there, we're getting there. Alright, so the knees already too low. And wrist is a little high. Shoulder's not bad. Pecs need to be further down. Down there. So this arm is a little bit lower here, I think. Oops. His head isn't terrible, it just needs to be up a little higher. little too tall though. Those, I guess we'll go there. Okay, so this needs to be higher. This also needs to be higher. It's about here. Elbow was a little too low. Man, I should have done this from the beginning. Comes that way. Shoulder comes down here. It's pretty spot on with the pecs though, so that's good to know. Chin. Shoulder. Elbow. Hips kind of come like that, so this needs to be lower. Oh man, this knee is like way higher up than I thought for this side. Okay. Man. If I didn't like just draw these marks myself, I'd be like, are you sure that's where those knees were? Because that seems too high. Hup. Okay, so, whoops. Bring this in a little more here. Something like that, I guess. Next one. This one hopefully won't have a ton to fix because it was basically just the same. This elbow is a little high though. Got the knees kind of in there. Okay, so that's the heel. And the toes a little further down. Oh yeah, so how about, how's everybody been doing while I attempt to continue to scribble and figure stuff out? I may not actually get a line art portion today, so how is everyone? I hope you're all doing well. Oh, I'm sleepy. This elbow still needs to be a little higher, I think. Okay, so our elbow is here. This comes down here a little. Bring it up some. Our shoulder is here. Oh no, it's online contagious, I'm sorry. I did not mean to make you yawn. Oh yeah, his ears were definitely way too tall here. Okay, that's good to know. Didn't have to go to the... Oh, that's cool. We love a good snow day. Always a lovely time. You gonna do some snow day shenanigans, like perhaps build a snowman, or some snow angels, make like a fort, perhaps. Oh, you used an iPad for the first time. How was it? What did you think of it? Was it potentially your flavor? Was it a thing that you enjoy? I think I want this to be a little wider here. Which kind of iPad also? Was it the kind that I use, or is it the new good one? Elbow, it's like here. Hips are like here. Knees are so high. Enjoyed it, but the drawing program wasn't that good. That's unfortunate. The like default ones that they kind of try to get you to use are not especially great, unfortunately. I remember when I first got mine, I was like, oh yeah, I get to try all these sick programs now, cool. But they were like not that good. So I was like, oh, I need to find something better than this. Heel toe. Micah, hello. So we got a knee here. This will bring this foot a little further back, I think. Yeah, you could do both of those things. Clip Studio Paint is pretty good. I'm not as much of a fan of it on the iPad just because the UI is not a thing that I like very much. That's like my only qualm about Clip Studio Paint, is that I don't really like the UI. If I did, I'd use it a lot more. I'm much more of a fan of Procreate because it's very like small. There's not like a lot to it, so it's like you just kind of focus on drawing, and then if you need to go into the menus, you can go to the menus. But in Clip Studio Paint, when I used it, it was like this whole area was toolbars, and like a lot of up here was toolbars, and it was like, I feel like I only get this tiny little square to draw in. If I had like a bigger iPad, it might have been more palatable. But for what I'm currently using, it was more annoying than anything. Where is this one? Where his knees are? Oh, it's the one that I'm doing. Duh. His knee just like drops. His feet are like all over the place. Huh. How weighty the pen is? Oh yeah. It's like more than it looks like it should be, but it's still pretty light. Like them calling it a pencil was very accurate. Like in a lot of ways it feels very pencil-y to hold, and it's like the same dimensions, which is pretty nice. It's not as like extra to get used to, you know? They try to keep it a little easy on you. I think I'm just kind of giving up on what's going on with his feet here. Okay, so that's that rear 3/4. We need another sideways boy. We need to flip it this way. I'm gonna move it this way. Just a little bit. Okay. So that can go there. We can erase this. Bring this forward like that. Oops. Oh. Because his feet don't really move. That was making it look extra weird. I mean, it's weird either way, but it looks weirder because the feet don't move. It's a little bit better. So now we need the other 3/4 to go over here. And let's go with this color, I guess. So again, we can start erasing some things. Elbow's about there. This is about here. This means that's about there. Something like this, I think. So now we get the full spin. I think. Did I forget a layer? How many is this? 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, it's 8. Okay. I do have them all. Why does it look like I'm forgetting something? I probably am. Alright, so I'm gonna make them all the same color so that hopefully it looks a little less weird when they spin around. It's not the worst, but also I hate it. Oh no, I hate it. This feels like one of those things. Oh, I'm far away from the mic again. This feels like one of those things that I might just kind of like stop and do something completely different because I don't like it. It's not bad, but it could be better. I think if I start the with the lines thing like right away, I'll have a better attempt at this. But yeah, I think I may just stop with this here and do. I don't want to end the stream with not a finished drawing, so maybe I'll just do something quick instead. I'm mostly like just kind of staring at this, seeing what I could fix. And there's like a bunch of like littler things that I kind of want to mess with, but this feels like a good like rough draft, starting draft. This was going to be just like I'm finally trying to get around to doing a character reference sheet for the boys, like for each one. And I was thinking, oh, well, what if I just do a character turnaround? And then I was like, well, what if I just make 8 frames and animate it so that they spin as part of the character sheet. But then I was like, this is hard, I guess. Animators make things like just a simple character turn look so easy. And in some ways, they're not like, it's not rocket science, I guess, but also it's so difficult. Like this is just a rough thing and there's already like a bunch of movement I don't really want here. Maybe one day I'll have to like sit down and remember how Blender works and just do it that way. Like I think I can import a rough that might actually be worth trying. Like I think what I can do is maybe I will learn enough of Blender to make a very simple stand-in shape to stand in for each boy. And then I can just like use the rough model and like trace it a bunch of times. Maybe that'll be what I do. Make a rough model that's a bunch of goofy shapes and position it in such a way that it resembles the pose I want. And then just kind of like spin it around a few times and take some screenshots and then draw over those screenshots. And that'll be how I get the turnaround in a way that like is consistent. This is just me sort of like thinking out loud at this point. But that seems like the easiest way to get something that's accurate in a way that doesn't require a lot of like nitpicking at a drawing. Like in a way that doesn't sound super boring. Even though I guess it is kind of boring, but still, it's not like staring at a singular line and messing with that the whole time. Yeah, you can clip stuff, Silver. You are welcome to. I am not opposed to this. But yeah, turnip, this would be like as part of the reference sheet, the turning part. My plan was to just kind of do a simple one. And then maybe like a static thing. Because the main reason that I was thinking of having it rotate is because as far as like character reference is concerned, these 8 drawings are pretty much like every angle you would need, except for maybe like a top angle and a bottom angle. But I'm not about that life. Maybe someday, but not today. Actually, maybe there's a reference that I can use somewhere. I feel like I've seen one. There's like an image I'm thinking of in particular that's like, let's see here. There's like one image in particular that I'm thinking of. It's like, this is not it. Oh, I guess I can just show you on my phone. It's like this, where you can like, oh God, that's so hard to see. But that was like just heads from different perspectives. It's like that, but like as a character the whole way around. I'll have to do some Googling later and figure out where that is, but I don't know. So I'll come back to this some other time. But I guess I could just do a bunch of expressions. That might be fun. I feel like I should draw something kind of finished, right? So what are some fun faces that I should have this boy do? I think I'll just start with his usual. Just like his usual happy face. Oh, and I guess this way too, I can kind of talk about the blah 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 blah. The other little details, I guess, that I would have included as like not part of the turnaround, but as part of the expression, or not expression, the character sheet. A snobby one, that could be fun. Oops. Trying to think of what a snobby expression even looks like. Just like a... Just like a, Oh, we need like that, like... Need that like pouty, like... That's very good. This is another one of my favorite things lately, is drawing eyebrows with like this little angle in them. I just think it's really fun. That's very good. We're gonna draw this line from the nose here. Ropey, hello. So this needs to come a little further forward, I think. That way. This is like down here. What if I give him a monocle? Yes. Disgust. Okay. No, I can merge this down actually. that, I think. What would disgust Tank? This is the expression he makes when he has to wear sleeves. Got his shoulders up high. The Ojo-sama laugh? Is that the that one where you put your hand, like the back of your hand over your mouth? With the oh ho 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 ho. Is that a thing? Is that what that is? Okay. I didn't know there was like a name for it, but yes, okay. A Kubrick stare. Okay, let's do goofy anime laugh and then we'll do Kubrick stare. That's gonna be so upsetting. Okay. Wait, which? Okay, so the hand is like this. I need to try and do this in such a way that it looks like he's laughing and not just trying to tell you a secret. I think this is good. That usually has like an angry eyebrow expression, right? Like a oh ho ho ho. Oh ho 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 ho. My dastardly plans. Etc. etc. Oh ho 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 ho. I might have to figure that hand out a little better later. We're gonna give this one some stars though, because I can make a little bit more room. Okay, Kubrick stare. Unfortunately, this one is like all about lighting. So it's not going to look like much until I can light it. Tizzle, hello. Let's move this one over here. I might be able to make this a little bigger. And same with this one. What am I doing? Confused now? I am confusion. This is like I just woke up and am sleepy confused. But I think it still counts. Super angry. I kind of want to put one here, but I don't know if it'll be enough space. I might be running out of space. Not enough space for this face. I'm gonna give him like big fireball eyes. I lied, I don't like the fireball eyes. I think I'll just go with like I don't really like his eyes on this. So when in doubt, just close the eyes. Something like this. Exasperation. That might be the last one I can fit on here. I think I've done this before. Like a... Like this kind of exasperation, you mean? Like an embarrassed kind of exasperation? Because that feels more like Jesse's iconic look at this point. Okay, so this is one of my favorite things about drawing digitally for sketches like this is now I can sort of like move stuff around and make it look like I did it that way from the beginning. Like I just had the forethought to plan out all of my sketches in a very good manner. Like some sort of artist or something. I think I can pull this one a little further down here. Hungry. I don't think I can fit hungry on here. I have too many expressions already. I'm gonna move on and try and... let's go with this one, I guess. And actually, let's go with this color. This is my usual go-to for warm lights. Or warm color palettes, I should say, which is usually Tank's skin tone. So since I couldn't really draw the turnaround reference sheet thing that I was gonna do, I'll just sort of explain some of the little nuances for all of you guys on stream. You'll get the insider knowledge before everyone else. If it wasn't like a thing you already knew, I suppose. His hat collection. His hats are like, what's that dude? Rorschach from Watchmen? Where they just kind of change. His hats are whatever they need to be for the scene. You know? Sometimes it's just a simple moo. And sometimes it's just a trucker hat that says truck on it. Okay, so one thing that I will mention, which isn't really for any particular character or reference related stuff in general, is that eyebrows, excuse me. Eyebrows just kind of change depending on how I want them to be in the scene. Usually it is expression dependent. So if I want the eyebrows to be a significant part of the expression, the eyebrows will go above the hairline. Otherwise they go below. But it usually isn't a terrible rhyme or reason to it. Yeah, I will just go ahead and... No. I'll do it separate. We'll do it on another color. Wait. On another layer too, actually. And what I think I'll do is just come back to this layer over and over again for all of my hair color needs. Just so I don't end up with like 80 layers by the end of this. 80 layers that are all essentially the same thing. But yeah, Tizzle, his hats just kind of fit whatever they need to be at any given time. But if I don't know what I want them to say, they will say moo. Just because it's easy. It's only a couple letters.
You're gonna make one swell bear.
Anxious Oliver, thank you for the follower. Thank you for the follow. I tried, okay? And thank you, I'm glad you enjoy it. Okay, so I guess all the specifics really of this boy involve his hair. Everything else is pretty much the same as everyone else. He has little nose things, little lines for his nose. I think he's the only one who has those. He always has a little poof on the corners by his eyebrows. So you'll see it here as well. There's like one on each side. He has these two in the back, two little cowlicks, and then always 1, 2, 3 poofs off to the side. When I say he has Mickey Mouse features, it's in reference to his hair. Mickey Mouse's ears are always like positioned in this way, no matter which way you look at him. They never overlap. You'll never see Mickey Mouse's ears do that. They always kind of are two separate things. His hair is the same way. No matter which way you look at him, it's always going to be those three. His beard sideburn thing always has this little shape before the beard. I just call it like a little Z, and the top of the Z always points this way towards his nose, I guess. So you'll see that on this one, it'll point like that. And of course his chest is heart-shaped. His chest hair, I guess. But those are the little tank nuances, I guess. for all of your fan art peace of mind wanting insider knowledge about this boy needs, I guess. But those are the only like super specific things that I can think of right now about this boy in particular. Gotta give him that heart-shaped nose or mouth for this expression. But yeah, see, like little nose dealies. Ugh. It isn't trimmed that way to be specific for lore reasons. He doesn't trim his chest hair. It just happens to grow that way. It's his secret to giving good hugs or something. But this is an example of one where the eyebrows are not that important for this expression, mostly because I'm not entirely sure if they're meant to be angry or not. So for this one, they will not be as prominent and will thus be behind the hair. Two of these. So then we got 1, 2, 3. That doesn't look right. 2, 3. The other thing about these is usually this first one is smaller than the other ones, but not always. It just kind of goes depending on whatever the mood is, really, whatever the vibe is. I think I'll do all the line art stuff all at once. I'm just gonna fill in the whole mouth, I think. There we go. Big blocky eyebrows are fun. But yeah, this is another example of a time where the eyebrows are the important thing, so eyebrows are above the hair again. This face is so silly. Mr. Bean. I could see that. I think it's the big pouty lips. I feel like Mr. Bean does a lot of pouty lip expressions. I need to move this eyebrow. Yeah. I'm still gonna draw the monocle. It's too silly. just go with the neutral. Another thing about his little nose lines is that if you see it from the front, there's 5. If you see it from the side, there's usually like 2 or 3. Most of the time it's 2. I don't know if that's important. It usually just kind of changes depending on what looks best at the time. But for anyone out there who's like, I don't know, furiously scribbling notes or something about details about this boy, there you go. I want his mouth to be a little lower for this one. I had to check and make sure I was still playing the right playlist. These chill hop songs usually don't have lyrics. So I was like, oh no, am I gonna get copyrighted? I don't want to get a copyright strike. Those are always the worst. I don't have enough like subscribers or whatever on YouTube for it to like really matter or anything, but it's always just kind of frustrating to see. It's like, hey, even if you wanted to monetize this, you can't. You're not allowed. It's not like a full-on strike though, so that's cool. Hopefully that doesn't change. Zoop. Zoop. That's fine. Explain it to a big animation studio. If only I were so fortunate. I don't foresee that occurring though. It would be nice. But it's mostly just for like me personally trying to remember how to draw them, that I have all this knowledge about the specifics of each of these characters. But like determining these things and like determining the just kind of like figuring out each of these aspects of the characters have been he gets big eyebrows for bigger expressions. This is the thing I also do with Jesse sometimes, where the eyebrow is just like way bigger, but also like way not even where the eyebrow should be. Like way above the hairline, you know? What was I talking about? Oh yeah, discovering all these things, right? And determining like what goes where for each person over the dozens, I guess, of times that I've drawn them. I was gonna say hundreds, but that doesn't feel right to say. It might be though, at this point, especially for this goofball. But yeah, figuring out all those things has been very instrumental in helping me to get very good at drawing them quickly. Because the thing about like characters that causes them to take such a long time sometimes is figuring out like what goes where. But when you have like an understanding of like, oh, he always has this thing and it always goes here, kind of lets you turn off that part of your brain for a second about like worrying about those particular puzzle pieces of like, okay, so what am I going to do with his hair? It's like, well, he always has these 2 little things on the back of his head and he always has 3 on the front. So I don't really need to figure that out, but I do need to think about like how the lighting is going to work or something. So you can kind of focus on those aspects while you're sort of absent-mindedly doing other things, you know? I imagine it's probably like that for like animators and things who are drawing the same character like hundreds of times a day or whatever, where it's like you're not super focused about like, oh man, how do I draw this person? You're more focused about things like, how do I want to convey this expression? Or in the case of like an animator, you might be thinking about like timing or framing or posing or some other aspect of animation that's not the design of the character itself, because you already have that understanding of like how it's supposed to look and feel, right? This is just kind of me like making assumptions, I guess. But yeah, that's how it's been for me, at least, where it's like, because I already sort of know like for Tank specifically, like stuff like his hair and the kind of clothes he would wear, the kind of colors that look good on him, just as like a product of doing it often and having that sort of experience means that like I'm able to do all of this in the short amount of time that I've been doing this today, whereas maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, this would have taken me considerably longer to do, and it wouldn't have looked as fun because I was still figuring out those smaller details, you know? Oof. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me reading too deeply into things or something, trying to be philosophical, or who knows. The point is, it's fun to draw this boy. And I vaguely have an idea of how he is meant to look now. And sometimes people ask me about those things, and that is me explaining them to you now. Maybe someday I will actually get around to putting this all on paper so that when people ask, I can just give them a thing. But it's not a question that comes up super often, so it's not like my highest priority of things to be concerned about. It's more for like my own personal reference. But Tank in particular, of like all the boys that I draw, is probably the easiest in terms of like little details to remember. The only one who might be... No, yeah, it's him. I was gonna say the only one who might be equally simple as Cecil, but I don't think Cecil is, actually. Because I just remember like 2 or 3 other things about him that I don't really need to worry about for tank. But as I've gone on, I've gotten more complex with the level of detail, which is why I think people like Roz so much. It's because he has a lot of little details. So I've had like multiple people come to me and say like, oh my goodness, he's just like me. He has this detail. And it's like, well, he has that, but also he has 3 other things that I can think of in that same general area. But folks latch on to like 1 or 2 things about him and they're like, oh, it's me. And that's always fun to see. I like when people are reminded of themselves or people they know through the goofy boys that I draw. Although sometimes it can be slightly annoying. With Jesse in particular. It's very annoying, actually, because it happens more than any of them. It happens with Jesse the most. Or someone's like, oh my goodness, he looks just like me. Why did you draw me or this person I know? And it's like, I didn't. And then they'll post like a picture of like a side by side or whatever, and it's like, they don't look anything alike. They're completely different. You just have the same hair color and glasses. And that can be kind of annoying. But it's also kind of fun to see that people are that enthusiastic about it, I guess. Like, it's not a complaint. Don't get me wrong. Oh, I know. I'll do it like this. That's sufficiently creepy. Bright enough that people, yeah. But it's like, because of the fact that the details are like things that are common, it happens so often that it, like, the reason that it's annoying is because of how often it occurs. Where it's like, not even. Like, if there are 3 things about Jesse that make you think it's Jesse, they will have like 1 or 2 of those things and be like, it looks exactly like me. And it's like, well, you forgot the 3rd thing though. And that aspect of it happens a lot with Jesse in particular. Not so much with anyone else. With the other folks, it's like, oh, he has this thing that is like me. But with Jesse in particular, it's like, everything about him is exactly like me. It's like, well, that's not true. But I appreciate your enthusiasm. I hate that it sounds like I'm complaining also. I'm not complaining. I do genuinely enjoy that people enjoy my goofy boys so much that they get that excited about them. I just don't have a chance to talk about this very often, so I'm talking about it a lot. should do with the other boys. Yeah. I feel like part of the fun for this was hearing expressions from you guys, though, so maybe I'll just save the other boys for future streams and do one of these some other time as well. Instead, also. Plus, it'll be more practice for expressions I don't generally get to draw for some of the boys, you know? Like Angry Tank is a thing I never draw. It just never comes up. Felix is a very mysterious portion. So much mystery under all that hair. Even I don't know what his eyes look like. Such a mystery. Who can say? But yeah, he's also quite blunt. He's not afraid to just kind of tell you. Oh yeah, that's another detail about him, which doesn't come up very often, is the back of his head. He has two little lines on either side of the back, like where the hair grows. So there's 4 back there. 2 on each side. But again, that doesn't come up that often, so it's not that important. But I figured while I'm here telling you all the fun details about this boy, I should tell you all of them, right? I always do this, and I try not to. I always accidentally draw one of his lines for his beard, like exactly where another line needs to go. That's not a thing that should happen. It's not like a part of his character design intentionally, and is usually a thing I have to actively avoid as part of drawing him. But that is also a thing I guess I should mention. Okay, please. Great. There we go. That's probably something that he would say when he's mad. Although it probably wouldn't be like leave me alone, it would be leave someone else alone. He's not the type of person to really get bothered by people trying to mess with him. But if someone was messing with someone that he cared about, then he would get mad, I guess. If they didn't stop. He just wants everyone to be happy, you know? He's happy when you're happy. Great. Okay. Is that all of them? That's all of them. Tongue time. Foreshadowing. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let's go with this. Gotta wait till next Halloween. No, you probably don't now. Now that I'm no longer bound by the chains of midnight, I'm free to work on longer stories. But that's not the one that I'm considering doing. The one I want to do is more wholesome, and Cecil's not there. I'm still sort of like kicking around the idea of how I want to do it exactly, which is why I'm trying not to talk about it too much. Because I don't want to get everybody like, oh, when's that thing happening? Because it might be a while. What if I just... and then like... I feel like I need to put some sort of a background color to distinguish between like where he is and where he is not. But also, I kind of don't know if I need to, honestly. I'll keep filling it in and see what happens. This is below everything, right? Yeah, okay. I don't need to worry about that other stuff then. Yeah, I don't think I need to. I don't think I will. I do need to do some of this stuff. sometimes this works. Yeah, it's pretty good. Just gotta scribble some color onto his face. His shoulders also usually get color, blushy stuff. But I feel like on this one it'll just kind of be a big pain, so I'm not gonna worry about it. And let's go with that color here, mostly because I need to do this. There's usually like a little bit of a thing here. Rico, hello. Someone caption these. Okay, if I had to caption these, this one would be like, what happens when, you say out loud, man, I could use a hug right now. This is the face you receive. From this boy. Burger, please. Oh, I guess I can do this while I'm here. Oh. How's your day been, Rico? Glad to see you. Oh. I think that's alright. This real spooky boy. I was considering not shading all of these, but now I kind of want to, so I think I will. Ah! Random. You've returned with gift subs. The Mad Lad. He's done it. Yeah. It's like a gift and stuff. One lucky viewer down there will receive a prize. Come on down. Etc., etc. It goes with your whole gimmick. That's true. I wasn't aware that you were such a fan of all things RNG. Just like as a general principle. Face when someone's a little higher energy at 7 in the morning. Unfortunately, he is that person. He's high energy until he falls asleep. So swag. The swaggiest. I think I'm just gonna do like a standard, standard lighting for all of these other ones though. Just like light from above, you know? It's just easier that way. Itchy. First time the Saturday after this one. Okay. I will keep an eye out on the socials and things. Wait, why are you waiting so long for it though? Just out of curiosity. Do you have like things coming or something? Like parts in the mail? You got a sick stream deck on the way. Takes Saturday to set it up. That's fair. You could like set it up and also not stream the same day. That's what I did when I updated my layout. I just kind of took a day to do that and then I was like, oh, okay. Now that I got everything working. I think I did maybe like a test stream for like 2 seconds and then just like turned it off before anyone showed up. Just as a like, I need to make sure that this is correct and works. But I don't want anyone to see if it fails. And it was alright. Do not have any gear. You don't need much gear. It's all good. I feel like I would enjoy giving helpful advice or something, but I barely know what I'm doing, so I feel like I might not be the best person to seek advice from as far as streaming is concerned. I'm not exactly the greatest at it, but I don't really, much like all of my artistic endeavors online, it's never usually about like, oh man, I gotta bring in more viewers for Q4 or my engagement. I usually just kind of do it because it's fun and worry about what happens after. But speaking of fun things, my most recent addition for streaming has been Mix It Up Bot. That's what I use as my moderator now. I think I still have Nightbot around just because I keep forgetting to turn it off, but all of the like stream alerts, the fun little hugs that you can redeem for channel points, all that stuff runs through Mix It Up Bot. It's like surprisingly simple to set up. I was using Streamlabs before this, but after switching to just straight OBS, I've decided to hop onto Mix It Up Bot. Just straight up OBS is a little bit like lighter and cleaner looking to me, but also Streamlabs was doing some weird stuff, I think, at some point, like as a company, which was what made me look at other options. Grinding to get the new video done for Saturday, though. That sounds like a tough time. My condolences if the game is not fun. But if it is fun, I hope you're enjoying it. I would ask for more information about it, but I don't want to spoil the review. So don't tell me. Just got too ambitious for the video. Boy, if I had $1 for every time I did that to myself, let me tell you. Most of my like professional and artistic endeavors are like, oh man, but wouldn't this be cool? And then I'm like, yeah, it would be. I'm gonna do it. And then halfway through, I'm like, why did I decide to do this? I've given myself 18 times more work than I needed for this to be a complete and finished project. I could have been done with this hours ago, but no. I decided to be a fool. I embraced the hubris and let it overtake me. And then you end up with like a half-finished character turnaround and decide to make a whole character sheet of expressions instead. That's relatable content, am I right? guess this whole thing would be in shadow probably. Maybe, but not actually. I don't really know. I'm not some kind of shadow expert. Some sort of shadow professional. Kind of wish I was though. That sounds pretty rad actually, now that I say it out loud. Ah, yes, what is it that you do? Oh, yes, I'm the shadow expert. Ah, of course, of course. Right this way, sir. It would look good on a business card, that's true. Oh man, you could get such a nice business card for that too. You get like a black business card, right? And then like just a part of it in like glossy but also black. So it's like you have to look at it in the right light in order to read it. That'd be pretty fun, pretty cool, pretty rad. Man, that just reminds me of the business card that I wanted to make for myself, but couldn't find a good enough excuse to do so. But there's this place that I found once that makes, they're like plastic business cards, which isn't like a brand new thing. It's basically like, imagine an ATM card, right? But it has like your business details on it instead. It's like that. But one of the types of plastic that they offered was like a clear kind, so you could have like a transparent business card. I was like, that would be so cool just to have, but I couldn't think of a good enough reason to do it. The example that they used was like a I don't remember what, something in the audio world though. So their business card was shaped like an old cassette tape, and because it was like clear plastic, you could see through it as if it was an old cassette tape. I was like, oh man, that's so cool. I want to do that, but I can't. I don't have a good enough reason. It was a real bummer. Having cool stuff is its own reason. I mean, I guess you're not entirely wrong about that. But as far as like stuff like that for like a businessy thing, I tend to always approach it with like my graphic designer brain, where just kind of saying, oh, I want to do this because it would look cool isn't really a good enough reason to do a thing. It has to have like a purpose that like will advance some other final purpose you have in mind, right? So just being like, oh, this would look neat isn't really good, but if it's like, oh, this would look neat because it's a reference to this thing specifically, then it's like, oh, then yeah, go do that thing. Like, you have to have a reason that's not just like, cool. Although being a cool thing is its own reward a lot of the time. It's much better if you're able to also be like, it's cool and also we did it for this reason specifically. I forgot to give him chest hair on this one, so I'll have to go back and do that here in a second. Oh. I guess that's fine. As a bunch of tanks, we've done it somehow. It's only like 11 o'clock too. It feels like it should be later, considering... Wait, I didn't do this one. I gotta do this one. I was just about to say, it feels like it should be later considering all the drawing that I was doing, but all the drawing that I've been doing has been quick drawing. Like nothing particularly precious or anything, you know? Sometimes that's the most fun though. Actually, most of the time that's the most fun. But every now and again you'll get a thing and it's like, oh man, I really want to, even though it's a huge pain to do, I really do want to put in the effort to do it, you know? Like those are also fun. Those don't happen quite as often though, because I'm lazy. I say that after just talking about how I'm constantly making extra work for myself, but you know, it's a relative term or something. Oops. Even though I don't really need to be rushing for midnight or anything, I still kind of have this like urge to start drawing faster the closer I get to 12 o'clock. Or at least that's what it feels like, but I'm pretty sure I've been going this fast the whole time. Okay, now I think I'm actually done. I think we're actually there now. We've actually done the thing. I'm gonna give him... Gonna give him a couple little shiny bits, just cause. keep trying to turn the canvas and it won't let me, so when it doesn't, I just kind of find somewhere else to put something shiny. Come on, Procreate. Come on. I'm not sure if it's Procreate, my hands not properly circulating blood or something, or if it's my iPad being old. But it feels like that is happening to me more often, where I'll try to move my screen around and it just don't go. It just don't want to do it. Oops. Well, good night again, random. Thank you for hanging out yet again. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And if I don't see you before your stream, then I'm looking forward to your stream. Lowers your blood pressure. Well, that's good. Okay. Now I'm actually gonna stop. I've been trying not to, but I think I shall. Oh, maybe I should like sign this, I guess. I guess I'll post this. Sure. Yeah. Where do I want to put it? I'll put it here. No. Still can't get over Angry Tank. In a good way or a bad way? I'm unsure. I'll turn that down just a little bit. And we're gonna group all these together. Let's mess around with some gradient maps, because I can. These are fun. I like these. I really like this one, actually. I deleted a layer I shouldn't have deleted. let's go with that one that I usually use on a warmer color palette. Yeah. Uh, Not even really doing anything. It's unclear. So yeah. Gonna flatten everything. Gonna delete a pixel. So that compression isn't... Oh no, I didn't zoom in far enough. That's still not far enough. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So there we go. That's a bunch of boys. A bunch of a boy, I guess I should say. Let's turn the time lapse on. Yeah. So I think that'll be it for me tonight. It was a weird one, to say the least. But thanks for hanging out, everybody. Always a lovely time with you guys, you know? I should be back again on Monday, I guess. Yeah. Let's see who we can raid. Let's raid Bear Boy, who seems to be playing Overwatch. Or potentially is drawing before playing Overwatch. I am unsure. But yeah, we'll do that. Ugh. Whoever gives the best caption. Yeah. I guess I will make mention of it at some point. But feel free to respond with any and all captions for these expressions, I suppose. I'll look forward to seeing them on Twitter and Instagram, which is where you can go if you want to see more of my drawings. Ho ho, look at that segue. That was so dumb. So yeah, that's where you can find me, talk about stupid nonsense, and post more drawings about stupid stuff, I guess. Maybe I'll actually finish that turnaround someday, and you'll see it there when it's done, if I do it. If I ever come back to it, who knows? Maybe I'll have to learn Blender first, like I mentioned earlier. But I'd been meaning to do that anyway, because Blender's pretty rad, and it's free, So, like, why not, you know? I'm doing that rambling thing again. I'll be back on Monday, probably. Have a good weekend. Go do something nice. And stay warm if you're about to get hit with coldness, or if you're mid-coldness already, I suppose. Or stay cool if you're on the other hemisphere and it's very warm there right now. Do that also. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. And until then, we're gonna wait, where'd the thing go? Oh no, it went away. I have to search for his name again. Ugh. There we go. Okay, let's go raid this friend. We're gonna go say hi. And I'll see you all in the next one. And stuff. So goodbye, farewell, good night.
Mocha Jack is waiting on the party at 9. Oh, thank you, buddy, for the raid. How's it going, Raiders?